Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. Today we're going to be doing the Crimson Harvest of 2022 in a Kronos. Previously I've been doing it in a Rattlesnake, and I think a Rattlesnake is probably a bit of a smarter idea of a ship to use in this event because of the 90% PvP drops, a high risk of getting ganked because you drop a lot more items than you usually do. But the Kronos is a lot better at competing people, and it's going to be alright. The Rattlesnake has been taking like 240 points so far, so there's been quite a bit of progress being made. But I wanted to get back at some people who've been out competing me because what happened was that I had these gate acceleration keys. So like these shortcut keys, you don't even have to do the whole site. You can just go through a gate and go really fast, and then you like have to skip the first two rooms. So it actually happened that I did it once with the shortcut key. The thing is, there was a Varga who came in, and he did it so fast he was able to get through the both two rooms before the boss spawned in, and he came in just when the boss spawned, and then he took the wreck. So we're gonna make sure that doesn't happen again. We're going to be using a Kronos this time. I'm using a fit that is sort of optimized towards buffer. It's not really optimized towards buffer, but apart from it having a 1600mm plates, but it's got a little bit more buffer than your classical Kronos would have, just because I'm thinking that we could maybe have a slight slither of a chance that we could survive some ganks if we encounter some. Okay. And I also just wanted, just generally speaking, to see how the Kronos performs. This is anything I'd have to think about when fitting a Kronos for this event, because I've not been using it at all so far for this event. I'm thinking, I wonder how much buffer we would have. We have 133k EHP with the plates and these multispectrum coatings over here, but I wonder how much we'd have if we just absolutely max out the armor resist. Energized membrane. Now if we go with a Corpum A-type, just triple Corpum A-types, how much are we? 103k HP, so it's still not as much as like the plates, because the plates give really a big buffer. Resist can increase your buffer, but only to a certain degree, until you really need just more raw hit points. We're looking here at adjacent systems that have Tetramon bases, because we can see in the Combat Anomalies tab the names of anomalies that are one jump out. So you can see Grista's Refuge, but we can't see what's here because they're unknown. This is the route I actually do quite a bit of Triglavian hunting in, so I recognize a lot of these systems like Waira. I do it because it's a bit of a quieter like area of Caldari space there's in High-Sec, so if there are other Triglavian hunters, then I have less competition. And then also there's some of these systems like Sirius Heshin have a route that has a high probability of spawning Triglavian wormholes. These are familiar places. So we're using the blasters. Blasters, I think, are really great for this site because I don't think we want to use railguns when stuff is orbiting us at like 25 max, 30 kilometers. The only annoying thing is that the furthest ships that orbit us are usually at 30 kilometers, and that's like just at the, fall off 25 is like just enough that it's like, is it worth it or is it not worth it? So it's just a bit of a frustrating range. It's not like it's perfectly really close or within 10 kilometers, that you're going to do 100% damage all the time. We've got the Grappler, because Grapplers are very potent for battleships to take out small stuff. We could have otherwise fit another tracking computer, which could have assisted and provided some extra range bonuses. You can see here 28 kilometers, but the Grappler makes over a huge difference in terms of application to small stuff, and there are quite a few small frigates that can spawn in here. Any Tetramon bases? No Tetramon bases. No Tetramon bases. Seriously, nothing here. Here, and here, nothing. Maybe there's a lot of people doing the same route I'm doing here, because I'm thinking, oh, it's usually a quiet area of space, let's go there as well. Right now in real life, I'm doing some research in medicine, and the thing is, with this project right here, I have to wait until data arrives for me to analyze at the hospital. The problem is that certain times this data takes a bit of time to arrive. So right now there's like no data in, so I'm in a bit of a dilemma. Like there's no point of me going all the way to work because there's nothing to do there. So I was thinking, okay, it's great. Play a little bit of Eve now in the morning, just before the data comes in. Halima, Waira, no, nothing here. Tetramon base, perfect, okay. Rattlesnake, Clanless, the section, okay. We should be able to outcompete Rattlesnake pretty easily. The annoying thing is just that the range. Oh my gosh, this range. With Null, it's no problem. 2k damage, 2.3k, but Void, it's like... Would it be better to just use the Null? We'll check here. This is a program you guys can use called PIFA if you're hesitant on which ammunition type is most optimal to use. So I'll show you how to use it here. Apologies for the blinding white light here. Okay, so we'll copy this, fit, and then we've got all 5 because my character is basically all 5. Okay, then we will go and look in fit and graphs. So we have graphs here saying the DPS is 0 because we've not got any ammunition added. So we'll add some void. Okay, we've got some void. Then we'll add another fit, and then we'll put this fit here to have null. Okay, Kronos, potato ores. What this guy? I reckon. No, I don't want to go to trick worm. No, the Tetramon base was just done. Who is this guy? What is this? He is Trig Hunter MTU Killer. Oh yeah, that guy. I remember him now. He was wrecking my MTUs that I laid out in a Paladin, I believe. Or no, it was not Paladin. It was I think he was in a Kronos, and he was hitting my MTUs that I placed out because he was angry that I took some tree alarmings when he even walked away. Okay, nothing here. We'll go to Isinairos maybe. Okay, we can check. So we'll put null and then void. Okay, so now we're going fit again and graphs. Graphs. This is the one with void, and then we add fit the second one. So this is the null one. You see the DPS? Okay, we've got the DPS and range. So we're fighting at, well, let's say 25, maybe 20 kilometer range here. So then this was me assuming we hit everything. Probably the null is actually going to do better because you can see the green null at 25 kilometers does a lot better than the void. Void is like, goes all the way down here. It's under 20 kilometers basically where void is better. Everything over 20 kilometers, null is by far the best. Now the thing is we have to also take into consideration some factors. I have to put these optimal range scripts in here. Optimal range. Let's just check any Crimson Gauntlet, don't need that. Saila, maybe go there. We have to, it's important to put the ideal situation here that we've got in terms of our actual player. Motion prediction, do we have any range implants? No, we don't have any range implants. We have that tracking speed. Okay, so the tracking speed did not do a whole lot, but it made it slightly above 20 before, slightly below 20, but it's pretty much the same thing, where 20 kilometers is the break off point, and then after 20 kilometers better to use null. Okay, so this makes a lot of sense. We could perhaps also check Caldari Navy as well, because Caldari Navy is definitely an option too. It's not always being used as much because, or at least I don't usually use Caldari Navy that much because it's similar at range to Void and a lot less DPS, but it has better tracking. There's got Crimson Gauntlet here. We could just do the Crimson Gauntlet, but we're not going to make progress towards our Tetramon line. I want to get Tetramon. I want to get Tetramon. I want to get Tetramon progression here with the challenges. Okay. We have got then optimal range here. And we add currently open fit, and the third one was Caldari Navy. So Caldari Navy is okay, it's basically the same. The only difference between Caldari Navy and the Void is that under 20 kilometers Caldari Navy does worse than Void, and over 20 kilometers Caldari Navy does better. But Void does best overall. How would I approach this? It feels almost like Caldari Navy might be like a sweet spot because it's like sort of intermediate. I'm not sure. Here, definitely a bit of Void at least. You can also go tracking speed script too, just because of how close these guys are. Let's go here, blast these guys. We can even go in Bastion. Blast these guys like no one's business. Just need to keep an eye on local, just in case. See, 20 kilometers. we're getting optimal damage, but after 20 kilometers, not going to be a good time. 3k volume, whoa. Yeah, it's a ton of damage you do to these guys. I'm just using tracking speed because I'm thinking there's a bunch of small stuff here, so we'll benefit more from tracking speed than small stuff. But I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be the case. Maybe that extra range could make us apply worse. Blast them. Unfortunate that we didn't find a Tetrum on base. We need to find Tetrum on bases because I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to get all these skins because I don't have a lot of time in real life. I just occasionally I have these like sessions like I've got now, like that I've got free time. So I'm just wondering if it could be we could find some Tetrum on bases. Okay, that was pretty easy. Secure shortcut gate. Okay, that's not what we're going to go to. We're going to active acceleration gate. And this is a bit annoying when you've got the Bastion locking yourself in place. Alright, let's take these guys out. Bastion up. The amount of damage and application we do with the Kronos is so great. Really great for these sites. The only thing I wish is that we had a tiny bit extra range. Do we have range rigs? We have Locus Coordinator too. So we could maybe have a Tech 2 variant of it. Get some extra range. Just a little bit extra range, because there's some oracles that will orbit 25 kilometers, and for those guys it's going to be very slow. But it feels so smooth here, a lot quicker than the Rattlesnake, definitely. And actually this bit is cheaper than the Rattlesnake, funny enough. You can just use one armor repair cycle and then we just repair everything up. Okay, grab him. Grappler, as soon as the Grappler kicks in, then they just fall like flies, because the frigates we can't apply perfectly straight away, but then the Grappler takes a bit of time. You see their velocity is gradually reducing, and then when it reduces to a critical point, then we just blast them to pieces. You can start with the Bastion now. Move here and get reinforcements here. Okay, now I can activate Bastion again. The tank, in terms of the active tank, there's no problem for Marauder here, because these guys do completely no DPS in terms of our resists and just the amount of armor we have. Because we will repair so much with just a basic Tech 2 armor repair, 3000 HP. It's no joke. Sort of almost need to grapple these guys. And I mean, if we had a Domination variant as well, it'd be even better. The faction web, the faction grappler, but it's a very expensive Grappler. Costs like 200 million ISK just for that one module. I'm trying to keep our ship on the cheap. I'm not trying to make it crazily expensive. For Marauder, 1.3 billion is not a whole lot, because the hull itself costs like 1.1 bill or 1 billion ISK. So they're not cheap ships in themselves. So using about like 25% of the hull value on fitting is actually quite low. Like say you buy a Gila, 200 million ISK. If you use 50 million ISK on fittings, it's not a particularly expensive Gila. Same concept here. Super smooth, like just it's buttery smooth in terms of the blaster purging of these Blood Raiders. I think this would be even better against Tetrimon because it's more optimal damage types, because I know they have very low thermal and kinetic resists, sometimes explosive resists, but those two damage types I noticed they're often very low. These guys are always low EM and thermal. Okay, take him out. Take him out, easy. Take him out. To be honest, I feel like we could have almost like gone with really good tracking modules and then just ungroup them and just ungroup all the modules, and then you can just spam hit multiple targets at once. Let's go to the final room. This feels so smooth. I wonder if you want to, like, say you're not able to use Marauders, you could use a Tech 1 battleship, blaster-based ship, because I think like that would almost be better, because I've been using a missile-based praxis for doing alpha clone, doing this as an alpha clone. The thing is, maybe a blaster-based praxis could be good, or even a pulse laser, because pulse lasers will have more range, because the issue I have is that the pulse, or the blasters, just generally speaking, don't have good range, but because of the Kronos having so many good bonuses, then it's usually not a problem. I can go with optimal range, because I think praxis will have like half the range, or 75% of the range we have in a Kronos. So it's not going to be an easy time hitting stuff. You have to really be point blank. Like I think it would struggle at 15-kilometer range. But I think pulse layers could be an option because pulse layers have more range than the blasters, and they would be optimal also for blood raiders too because they do EM and thermal damage. Neutron blaster. Let's just see how much is the default range with practice. Neutron blaster cannon. Put void. I won't be able to use this as an alpha clone, but Caldari Navy. 70 kilometer. It's not that bad actually. Not that bad. I thought it would have been worse, and we don't get any modules improving range as well. So it could be an option to go for blaster blazed Kronos actually. Maybe test that out sometime if I get around to it. I just think the missile-based ships are usually very reliable because they always hit. But I think if you have a grappler plus web, it shouldn't be an issue really. Maybe a grappler and then have a lot of sort of application modules because the web won't always be able to hit. Since these guys at 12 kilometers, 15 kilometers, you're going to have to then use a bling web. Oh, look at this. Look how powerful we are. I just do one armor cycle every couple of minutes and then that's it. Let's do a test. We'll ungroup all these and then put the tracking speed on. And then try to extinguish all these guys. Really web this guy. Does it get destroyed? One idea, but it doesn't seem like it's working too well. I think you need to focus a lot on one target. Maybe even optimal range would have been better. It's fun if we were able to apply, but the problem is the grappler is only able to be used on one target at a time, so it's not really that effective. This destroyers, though, we're able to apply very well without a grappler, so that's great to see. Destroy, destroy, destroyed. Easy. Oh, we can regroup these guys now. With these tractor beams, we can pull in wrecks in case they spawn far away and someone tries to be cheeky and steal them from us. Harvest Overseer. You know, guys, I've noticed something actually with these sites. They usually, in high sec, these guys are battleships. They drop 20 million ISK, 25 million ISK worth of Warclone banks in the Tetrumon bases. I'm not talking about the Blood Raiders, I'm talking about the Tetrumon bases. Okay, this seems like it's a good range for Void. But the thing is, occasionally, maybe once every 5, 6, 7 sites, they drop 100 million ISK, and it's very consistent, like 20, 20, 20, 20, 100 million ISK, 20, 20, 20, 100 million ISK. So these are really profitable sites, actually. You can just do some sites and you can get quick 100 million ISK if you're lucky. And you almost always have, in my limited experience of this, received 20 million ISK. So it's guaranteed 20 million ISK, occasionally 100 million ISK, plus the skins, plus the boosters, everything. Really profitable, actually. Okay, well, I'm Bastion. That was smooth, I mean, it's not surprising that Kronos finds it smooth, but in a cheap Chronosphere, extremely smooth. I will get Overseer personal effects, yeah, because it's a bit different from the Tetrumon guys. They give walking on blanks. These guys give Overseer personal effects, and they're really bad Overseer personal effects. I feel like the Tetrumon bases actually give more loot, because I've hardly done any of these Crimson Harvest sites. I've just been doing the Tetrumon bases. But I'll be looking for more later. I'll be looking for more later. Quick site in the Kronos. I wanted to see how it works. It works really well. I'm going to have to look for more Tetrumon bases to be able to get the skin line unlocked, because I'm worried that I won't be able to get all these points. 1/3 almost, a little bit like 1/4 basically. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Kronos doing the Christmas Harvest of 2022. Very fun, very buttery smooth. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.